Hey everybody, happy Thursday. Hope you're doing well. Let's fade that out. Alrighty. So we have made it, folks, to the end here. Look at that. Oh, this has got to go on the other screen, right? Go on the other screen. This one. Man, one of these days I'll figure this out here. Alright. There we go. Maybe that'll work. Here's our syllabus here. Yeah, Trumpet Man, we made it. We made it. Is this the last day of classes for all classes, right? Last day of the semester, or is there still anything on Friday? Sometimes they give like a day in between, but I don't know if Friday counts. So we're going to talk briefly about some basic graphics. This library is actually really cool. There's a ton of stuff you can do with it. Yeah, last day, December 9th. So we are a little earlier. We're the first day of final exams on the Monday, unfortunately. We're not going to meet in person. I don't think we need to for anything. We're just going to hop on a Zoom call. I'll post that link in Canvas in a little while here after this class. And we'll take turns sharing our final project. You'll just play your little Powerball simulator, show us how fast you can lose money, show us you can pick numbers. I might ask to look at like one or two things in your code. It should be 5 minutes or less for you and or your partner. So there's no points for the presentation part. I just getting into the practice and habit of demonstrating your code to a group of peers is going to be very useful. It's definitely something you'll do all the time in the industry as you work through, demonstrating a new feature or something that you put in there. You'll just present a quick little walkthrough to your group that you work with. It's real common. It's low pressure. It's not like presenting anything to an executive group, nothing fancy like that. So we're just getting into that habit. We're all working on the same project here. So, everyone's had the same struggles and issues there. So, and if you have any questions about that Powerball project, do let me know. I've gotten a couple of questions related to the constructor and doing some unit testing. So a couple of people are asking about that. So maybe we'll take a couple minutes to look at that as well, along with this basic graphics. And we should be able to go from there. That make sense? I've got hot in this mug and cold in this one. This is it's good for a winter day. Spam that coffee. Let's see if that would do it. I think there was a coffee command. Yeah, Luckchan, definitely. This is our last class. Well, so we're streaming on Twitch instead of Zoom because I'm not a fan of Zoom. At least for our format. We're not a discussion-based class or anything, so there's really no need to do any discussions. This is just the lectures, and we get together weekly for labs for anybody who wants to come. All right, so let me get PyCharm opened up here, and start up a new project. This will be basic graphics. Oh, you can't see that screen. Hang on, let me do it over here. There. Now can you see it? Look at that. Having two monitors is nice. So it's like a hybrid Luckchan. We do our labs in person if you want. The lecture portion is online. All right, I'll zoom this in a little bit. So there's a standard library that Python uses, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to actually grab all this. It's the TK inter, which is short for TK interface, that lets you use this GUI toolkit. So we're going to import TK inter as TK, just to make it a little easier to type here, with TK versus tkinter, or TK inter. That's fine. And we're going to take advantage of some inheritance here, where the class itself already knows how to do all these things to be a program. So we'll call it, hey, I don't know, this is our basic graphics, and then we want to extend TK frame. So with inheritance, right, we are a TK frame from the TK library. We're an instance of the frame class. We're going to make a special version of it here. So what we need to do then in our init method is we need to accept something as a master. We're going to assume it's none unless you tell us otherwise. Then we'll call our super class. We'll call this TK frame class. We'll call their init method to make sure all of that happens. And we're going to pass it that master. So if you didn't give me one, it's nothing. If you do give me one, great. We're good to go. we'll hand that up to the TK frame class here. Uh-oh, am I losing frames? Yeah, I'm dropping a couple frames. I'm sorry. Let me know if it gets too bad. It was great earlier. Okay, I think we're back. I guess the sizing is weird. Okay. Oof. All right. Yeah, bit rate's going super weird here. Sorry. GG. So you can take a look at the TK Inter documentation. So they've got their site here to see all the things that it does. So docs.python.org/3/library/tkinter. I can link this in the Discord too, or I can chat. Look at that. I can post links in chat. So this does all sorts of things. You can even add buttons and event handling and things. So the basic portion we get through here in the ZyBook is I can draw ovals and squares and rectangles on the screen. Nothing super interesting, but there's a whole set of everything that you can do in here where you can make a nice little application that has buttons and things happen and text boxes and all sorts of cool things we just unfortunately don't really have time to get into in this course as it's still the Intro to Programming course, but you can do some fun things with it. Make some nice looking applications. So you can go through some of their documentation if you want to see more of what that might look like for you. Okay, so we just call our superclass, we init there. I'm just cheating, copying off the book here, right? And then we're going to say, hey, my master is the master you pass in here. If you give me something, I'll save it. If you give me nothing, right, the default here is none. So this default is none is what we would do in our constructor for Powerball ticket, right? We're going to assume you don't give me anything. And if you don't give me anything, you want a random ticket. If you do give me something, right, if you give me an argument, then I can take those numbers in your argument and do something with it. That way the constructor can either give you the random ticket or the ticket with the numbers in it. Yeah, Luckchan, the second half, it's a 2-course track we're going to do in the winter semester for Computer Science 2 for data scientists. Okay, then what we can do, we can take our master, this is essentially the frame itself, and a bunch of things we can do it here. One of them is you can set the title. So we'll call this, I don't know, Hello World GUI. Sure, why not? And then we call pack. Don't worry too much about that. It just gets everything ready to go. That's our init. That's our entire class. Not super exciting, but that's it. So if we hand it something, it'll do something with that master, right? Which is essentially the frame we're going to put in here. So then what we can do is we can create our the frame, the image, the view, the page. I don't know. There's lots of different words for it here. Probably frame's the best one here. And we're going to set that up here. So we'll say, hey, I want an app frame. Sure. It is going to be tk.tk. So my tk library.tk, the constructor that creates the frame for me. Then with that app frame, I can do all sorts of fun things. One of the things I can do is this geometry. And with geometry, I can give it, hey, let's do the size of your window here. So if we want to be a certain size window, so let's do 800 by 600. So I've got a real large screen here. I'm not actually sure how well this is going to look, but we'll see what it does here. And then we set up our application is going to be my basic graphics class here, given, and we're going to say the master here, we're going to give it the app frame. We're going to say, hey, here's the app frame. Then you have to start it, you call main loop to start. This starts it going. So with graphical user interface applications, it's actually very different from what we've done so far. So all of our console-based applications have been top-down. You know, we've got loops, we've got functions, we've got classes, those sorts of things. But essentially, it runs a line, runs a line, runs a line, runs a line, runs a line. And when we ask for input, it has to wait for you to type something and then enter, and then it just keeps on going. With a graphical user interface, we totally change up that paradigm. And the idea is that we now need to respond to events from the user. So we are event-driven rather than top-down. So the user could do anything. If we have 5 different buttons, we don't know what order they're going to click those buttons in, right? They could do anything they want. So you start the loop, and the loop just sits there and waits and listens for the user to do something. Let's give it a run. I'm going to cross my fingers. And look at that. We get a Hello World GUI, 800 by 600. I think it got doubled here. I've got like a default zoom on here. And if you're in Mac land, you'll have your Mac buttons in the top left. If you're in Windows land, you'll have your options buttons here at the top right. So the TK interface is multi-platform. So you can run Mac applications, you can run Linux applications, you can run Windows applications, all with the same Python code, which is fantastic. So when you install Python, the Python install is application or operating system specific, but the Python language itself is not. So the Python runtime knows what to do with that, which is really cool. So let's add some stuff here. Let's see, what do we want to add? Let's add a canvas here. So inside of our init here then, right, we're going to go and add a canvas that we can then draw things on. So this geometry is just setting my width here. So we'll keep on adding all of our items in here. So we can make a canvas object. So canvas is what we're going to draw on. So get canvas given self here. And then we need to, tk.canvas. So their example, they import them by name. I'm not too concerned. Shouldn't be a big deal to just tk dot. Okay. And then with canvas now, we can do a bunch of things. You can create arcs, lines, ovals, text. Let's do some text here. Let's create text. And to create the text, we're going to have to tell it where we want it to go. So with this, let's look that one up here. Let's go back to that library. Hold it up. Because that one was not here. But I want to do text. So let's look for a create text. Let's go back up here. So we want to create text. Come on. Really? Search? Really? That's what you got? Nope. Alright, that was no good. Oh man. Alright, let's look up TK docs. Try this one here. Create text. Oops, and spell that right. Create text. There we go. This one knows what a create text is. So you give it an X, you give it a Y, and some other options here. So we can give it all sorts of cool things here. So the X and Y are where the text is going to start. So when we're dealing with applications, we're not in Mathland anymore. So we get the top left is 0, 0. So if I started at 10, 10, I'm going to be 10 pixels down from the top. I'm sorry, X will be 10 pixels right from the left side. And the Y value is how many pixels down from the top. This is X and Y are how many pixels down from the top left. Or how many pixels from 0, 0 the top left. So there's not an origin. We don't have 0, 0 as an origin because we don't deal with the 4 different quadrants. So our 0, 0 is top left, and you have pixels to the right, and you have pixels down. So we're going to add the text here, and then other things we could give it if we wanted. We could give it a font if we care. That's fine. We'll give it the text here. So then we'll say my text is equal to hello world GUI. So we'll add it in, and then we want to pack the canvas, and we should be good to go. Let's give that a run. Oh, not quite. Oh, I have to pack this one after. Sorry, I think you have to pack it again here. It gets funny. Try that. No, not quite. We're still missing. What are we missing here? Oh, I have to add my fill here. That's right. So we need to use my fill equals tk.both. Expand is 1. Let's try that. See if this works for us here. Pack us in. Give that a run. There we go. Oh, so it looks like the center here is at 10, 10, so we're kind of missing some of that text. So let's see if we can bump out. Let's go like 50. We'll do 100 to 100. There we go. Okay, so now we're seeing it here. So I think it was centering our text here. This is not something I spend a lot of time with. I don't build GUI applications in Python. It's all console-based or text-based stuff. But GUI stuff is fun. Okay, so we can add that. We can add shapes. We can do all sorts of things with that canvas, right? So then in canvas, we can create. You want to do an oval, maybe. So then when we create oval, let's go look up the documentation. We want to create oval. And when you create an oval, you give it a couple things. You're going to give it the x0, y0, which is the top left, and the x1 and the y1, which is the bottom right. But again, they don't touch those locations, right? That's the, if you were to put a box around it, where that would be. And then you give it the options. Okay? So let's come back and let's put an oval in here. So we'll do our canvas. Oh, sorry, there's create oval. So let's say, hey, well, let's put the top corner at 200, 200, and the end at 400, 400. And if you notice, this is a circle, and that's okay, right? Not a big deal there. We'll say our outline is going to be in, how about cyan, and let's fill with black. Okay, let's give that a run. So you can't really see the cyan outline. It's there, but I guess with the fill, it's a little rough here. Let's do cyan again then. And let's run that one. Oops, stop and rerun. Yep, forgot to close it. There we go. Now we get our nice little cyan circle. So we could do all sorts of silly things. Like if we wanted to make a stick figure, right, we could do that. So let's do it black here. Let's not fill. Let's make that a little smaller here then. So maybe 300 and 300. This expand option in pack, let's look that up here. Geometry Grid Manager. Here we go. Let's see. Wants to resize, paddings. Where's my pack? Oh, that's all it's telling us here. Expand. So you can add stuff in particular layouts, looks like. Yeah, not entirely sure. So whether or not it's going to expand or not, maybe to fill that space. Let's try without the expand to see what it does. So it's only fitting into like the top left here. That's kind of funky. No, what? Oh, what? Redo. What did I just do? There we go. I think I was hitting redo or undo instead of redo. Now it fits. Yep, and then let's make create arc. Right, oh no, we want a line here. Create a line. So we want to start at the bottom of that circle. Right, so the bottom of the circle should be 250, 300. Right, because it should be halfway between the X, but at the bottom of that there. And then we want to go down a bunch. So then let's go down to maybe 600, 300. Let's do black. Giving it our line in here. Make the body here of our stick figure. Oops, not outline. Color? Not color. No color. There we go. Nope. Doesn't like color either. Goodness. I should go back to our documentation here. Create line. Create line. Create line. Give it an X, give it a Y. We can go through the series of points. Nice. A style, a fill. Oh yeah, default is fill black. Okay, so we should be fine with no options there because we don't need to change the color. Oh, I went the wrong direction. No, X should stay the same. Y should go down to like 600. Let's try that. All right, awesome. I think we need to bump everything up a little bit here. So Now this is the problem with using all these coordinates. If nothing is relative here, it's going to be a little pain to change all of these here. So if we want to change all of our y's here to 100 and 200, and then 200, 500, right? So a little bit annoying to move all these. So then we got a body. We can draw some legs. We can draw some arms if we wanted. Right, do our little stick figures. Should be fun. So then we'll make another line here for arms. So we need to move the y down a little ways here. So let's move down to maybe, let's try 300. It's going to stay at 300. We're going to go from x of, say, maybe 150 to 450. That puts us, no, 350. Let's try that. So let's kind of cross the body here for some arms. Okay, got some arms. I'll draw some legs. So then the legs are going to start at 250, 500, and they're going to go to, let's do 150 and maybe 600, and then we'll go to 350, no, 200, 600. See if they'll draw some legs here. Oops, okay, one of them's right, one of them's not. Let's see, oh yeah, the y, this one here, needs to be more than 250. Needs to go to 300, right? Is that it? Let's see if that works for us. Not quite the same, so we didn't go far enough. So 350, right? 350. Here we go. Nope, so they'll draw wherever. You just won't be able to see in your canvas necessarily if your window's not large enough, right? So like, you just won't really see it. So you can add other things with scrolling and all sorts of other nonsense. Doing graphics is hard. There's lots of good ways of going about it here. We're just doing it the cheap way, essentially. Oh, here we go. We have our little guy. So we could have done our hangman here as a graphical program and actually drawn in some body parts, right? I'm sure that would be fun. All right, just a quick intro to graphics. Nothing super fancy here. If there's things you want to do, go look up the TK interface library. All sorts of things. Really, the sky's the limit once you get into graphical user interface programming. If you can imagine it, you can probably write it, which is pretty cool. All right, so let me commit this to GitHub. GitHub, not Skyrim. There we go. No zooming that I'm aware of, GG. I think that's all about your monitor's resolution, which does pose problems for certain applications. So there's certain layouts and there's cool things you can get into in this TK interface here. Like when we looked at that pack, the layout managers that you can use will like automatically kind of resize things for you a little bit. Lots of different layouts. And it's more than we really want to tackle here. So layout management is all about how do we want these things to kind of flow around here. So you can give it different ways. A grid is a pretty easy one. A grid says, hey, just pretend there's like a grid on the page and I'll tell you which one of those sections, which one of those cells essentially you're going to go in. Wow, yeah. Like you can do all sorts of fun stuff here. Thought they'd have more examples here. But that's okay. All right, awesome. So 1501, do some graphics. Graphics. Don't need any of that test stuff. I'll get rid of that later. Okay, commit that. Hey, KMP. Happy Thursday, last day of the semester. Commit and push. All right, so we got that out there. So again, this idea with the constructor and none is really important for your unit testing when it comes to the Powerball ticket class. You can have a default argument of none, and if it's none, give them random numbers. If it's a list of numbers, take their list of numbers, right? And again, a good thing to do, I don't think it was in our requirements here, is sanity check. Like if they give me a list, make sure I don't get any duplicate values, right? Because otherwise, if they give me 5 ones for their white numbers and number 1 shows up, your code is probably going to think you have 5 white matches, which is incorrect. It just doesn't work like that. So that's one of those things, like maintaining the integrity of your class. This idea where we've encapsulated all of our details here. The class needs to maintain itself and take care of itself. And the way we do that is by raising exceptions. Right? If you do a bad thing, we raise an exception or raise an error. You did a bad thing. And we make the person who called that code, did the bad thing, fix it for us. All right? Anything else you folks wanted to talk about? We got the rest of today then to work that out. So I did update your zybook scores, just kind of put that fresh in your head that needs to be done. We do have until next Friday to get them in. So final exams run Monday through Friday next week. So I don't think they're going to be pestering me to submit grades until that Friday. So if you can get them in Friday by 3 p.m. or so, I'll have time to submit grades by Friday evening. Everything else should be in. I'm going to finish up. I still have to grade your Project 3s. My apologies. I'll be working on those this weekend. And hopefully tomorrow a little bit. I've got unfortunately I have to go to a funeral tomorrow, so that'll soak up a decent amount of time. But I'll work on getting those Project 3s graded definitely before you present your final. And then during final project presentations, I'm going to score them as you present them. Right? You'll go through, you'll show me you can do this, you'll show me you can do that, you'll show me you can do this. I can score boom, 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 right then and there. So all of your scores should be in by the time we're done on Monday, aside from zybooks. So again, if you're happy with the score, great. You don't have to worry about anything else. If you don't like the percentage you're at, you're welcome to go and finish up the zybooks, get some more points there. If you didn't do so well in the labs, I'm open to you working on those a little more. I know some people weirdly submitted stuff that didn't do what I asked it to do and didn't ask me anything about it. They just turned in a wrong lab. I was a little confused, but given our format, and that's, I guess, understandable. Next time ask me questions, but if you'd like to ask me about the labs and then chat with me and redo them, I'm open to that. Yeah, we can take a look at that, Gigi. You want to do a Discord call later? Or we can meet on Zoom? Yeah, so remember the tickets match in combination, not permutation. So it doesn't need to be my first number matches their first number. It's, is my white number in any one of their 5 numbers? And remember, if you have a list, it's really easy to ask if a value is in a list with some of our syntax. So that should work out pretty well. Okay, so you just need to loop through and you need to find out how many matches you do have, and then you'll use that number of white matches and the red matches, right, in that Powerball to get Powerball, I forget, that was, yeah, Powerball.com. Why did I not suggest that? It's crazy. Come on. Come on. Where's my... Here, right here. So if you have 5 white matches and the red ball, you get a grand prize. Just hard code in the grand prize. I don't care what you want to make it. Make it 1 billion. It doesn't matter. If you have 5 white matches, right, and not the red ball, it's just 1 million. I mean, only 1 million. 4 white matches, but the odds of that is really low, given these are 1 to 69. So you have a 1 in 11 million chance, essentially, of getting 5 white matches here. The odds here, they're going to look a little funny because they are accounting for this one not matching. So it's not just the straight odds of 5 combination 69 or 69 combination 5 matching. It's in addition to this one not matching, right? So that's 25 out of 26 not matches here. So don't worry about the odds here. Yeah, 292 million. 1 in 292 million chances of getting this grand prize. So, right, there's 292,201,338 different possible combinations of 5 white numbers 1 to 69 and a red number 1 to 26. Okay? Yeah, 280 million, I think, is the current grand prize. That sounds about right. So, like, you're still 307 right now. But if you actually take the cash value and not their annuity, you're only going to get 224 million. And then you're going to pay 40% federal tax, essentially, on most of that. So you're going to lose another 40% of that on top of that. So, like, when people are like, oh, the jackpot's more than the number of tickets you can buy, right? You could just go buy all 292 million tickets. Well, that's $2 a piece. And then if someone else happens to win too, you have to split the prize, right? You don't make money playing the lottery. The lottery is literally a tax on poor people. That's sadly what it is. It's a shame. The people who can least afford to, quote, play the lottery are the ones who buy tickets religiously and waste their money, hoping to hit it big. And sure, some people do win, right? There are winners, but it sucks money away from people who can't afford it, which is awful. Yeah. Was it 2/3, 70% of people have blown through all their money within a couple of years? Because essentially, if you're playing the lottery, you don't have good money management skills. And if you don't have good money management skills, winning $1 million, $10 million, $100 million, it's going to be good, right? That's great to have the money, but you're going to blow through it because you don't know how to manage money, which is awful. So it's really unfortunate. But the reason why we had lotteries is because some other states had lotteries, and then people were just crossing state borders and buying lottery tickets out of state. And we're like, well, if they're going to do it anyway, we might as well get the tax money from them, which is, it's awful. I don't know. I guess that goes with the idea of personal liberties, and people are welcome to make their own choices. But we don't do a good job of teaching financial literacy in schools. So we get people who don't understand financial literacy, and then they are things. So, yeah, I mean, 1 in 38 tickets will win $4, right? You could be a $4 winner. Just spend 38 times $2. $60, $70, $76, right, to win 4? That sounds like a good deal there, my friends. Well, so the reason they don't want to conceal identities is they want people to know that real people win. It's a lot easier for people who buy into conspiracy theories and things to say, oh, we never see who wins. They're obviously not giving the money away. And then they'll stop playing the lottery. They want you to see that just some average person won the lottery, because they want you to see that people have a chance of winning, and believe that it is going to work out well for you, which is awful. So it's really unfortunate, but that's okay. So hopefully you can take the simulator and you can give it to somebody who likes to play the lottery and say, hey, play my pretend lottery and lose as much money as you want. And then they won't actually lose real money. So, you know, there's a possibility there, perhaps. Oh yeah, babe. People win the jackpot all the time. All the time. Yeah, you bought 1.1 million tickets and you only lost 1.9 million. Nice. Hey, I mean, that's essentially what it is. You'll lose about half the money, right? Because half of it goes to state revenue, essentially. So if the lottery made people money, the state would not do it, right? You can believe that's not a stretch of the imagination at all. If the lottery was losing the state money, you can sure bet they would stop doing it. The lottery makes the state money, so they are more than happy to take poor people's money. Yeah, that's also another thing with random number generators. You want to use cryptographically secure random number generators. Our Python random is not cryptographically secure, so I wouldn't trust it for anything actually random. That's a whole other thing. You can learn about that in like more of a cryptography class and the math behind all that. But turns out there was a what was it? Slot machine targeted by machine random generator. I forget. A slot machine essentially used. Is this it? The same random number generator. Yeah, I think this was it. To do the images as they spun by and the actual winning ones here. Yeah, this is what happened. Here we go. So they used their phone to record a video. They would transmit the video to St. Petersburg, and it would get analyzed to figure out when they were supposed to hit the button to stop it. And they were able to actually make money off of it. So this quickly got patched. As you can imagine, if casinos are losing money, they will fix that very quickly here. So Yeah, this was that article on Wired. Oh yeah, it was Wired. So this was a good one here. I love Wired. Yeah, I should put that in Discord. So they do have a fix. Casinos have a fix. That's not true. They just had to fix their code, which is stupid, but that's fine. Yeah, so all sorts of fun stuff there. I don't know how we got on that tangent. I'm sorry. So we are about done. It's been quite a semester. I know we're not back to anywhere near normal, even though we're trying to feel a little bit more normal. Come winter, my plan is to do the same sort of thing we've been doing, where I'll lecture on Twitch. I'll post the recordings on YouTube if you want to view asynchronously or synchronous remote. But the difference will be I won't be here in my home office. I'll be on campus in a room that you are welcome to join live. So that should be fun. Yeah, oh, for sure. I mean, casinos don't, I mean, yeah, they're there to make money, right? Obviously. So I haven't heard of people getting kicked out for being lucky, but maybe. I'm not entirely sure. I know, yeah, maybe if you look like you're counting or something like that, you know, it's all sorts of fun. Yeah, so next semester in 2001, if you do continue on, we'll be in a room. It'll probably get assigned like the day before classes start, if we're lucky. And I'll be doing the lectures still on Twitch, because I think that's fun and I like that flex format. And honestly, we're still in the middle of a global pandemic, so if you're not comfortable coming in person, that's fine. I respect that. So, but I'll be there, and we'll go from there. So labs will be on Tuesday before class, and then we'll have Tuesday lecture, Thursday lecture. And we'll still kind of follow that same format. So labs will be on the stuff we talked about the week previous for us. So I'll lecture on something, we'll have a chance to practice it in lab, and then we'll start new stuff. And we'll go from there. Thank you for filling out the survey. I need 5 more of you to take it, please. It's telling me, look, 12 out of 17 have taken it. Thank you very much. It does go into my annual evaluations as a lecturer that my poor department chair has submitted to him. I think he reads them. I can't say that for certainty because I'm not him, but I'm pretty sure he goes through and reads all that stuff and goes into my personnel file and all that good stuff with HR. So do me a favor, fill that out for me. Your honest feedback is important. If it was terrible, please let me know and let the department know. We're more than happy to look at that and see what we can do to adjust. So that's what it is. So it is anonymous. Your name's not in it, assuming you don't put your name in that free text section. I had a student one time put this whole big paragraph in like a specific thing about a very specific situation that happened to them, which was very identifying. So like, as long as you don't identify yourself, it's anonymous. So that's all. That's the note. Okay. All right, folks. It's been fun. We'll see you Monday. Look into Canvas. I'll post the link to my Zoom room. We'll all join on Zoom come Monday, 3 p.m. Present our projects. I'll score them there, and then we'll essentially be done, unless you want to finish up the Zybooks or retry any of those labs. So it is open to you if you want to retry some of them. Just shoot me a message. We can chat about them if they weren't making sense, and we go from there, okay? All right, thanks everybody. Take care, and I'll see you around maybe Monday and then next semester. Yeah, have a great weekend.